Hey, I'm Sam, and I have a few thoughts to share and a poem to read. So I really just try and speak as personally as possible and keep this to my own perspective, and of course this is my own perspective that I share. And though I do say we quite often now, and that's only because I read the comments and I get emails from people, and those emails and comments show me that my experience is shared by many people, though the nature of our trauma is different. The consequences are very similar. So, but I do try and just speak as personally as possible. So it's very difficult now to make these videos. I've been trying to make this video for a few days now, and yesterday it brought me to a place of difficulty, because each video is cathartic, but it's an exorcism as well, and I'm doing my very best to dig as deep as I can and share something, of use to other people. But that means I put myself through quite a difficult process for each video. If I could just heal quietly, I think it would take a long time. So, the difficulty I go through in sharing my journey in each video, has a purpose. Because I think it does help me, though it's difficult, it does help me. And it also helps me to help other people. And, I was so isolated over Christmas. I was really intent on making a video, and I didn't even realise why. And it was because I was isolated and I needed contact. And just reading the comments from people that have a similar experience as a kind of intimacy, I suppose. And you know how hard it is to live with complex trauma and to be so isolated. Even in a room full of people, you are alone. So it's easier to be alone somewhere like this. So, I found myself hitting that wall of grief hard over Christmas. Just unimaginable grief. It's never ending. And it's just, to deal with it, I have to become nothing. I just curl up in a ball and just become nothing. No person, no self, no identity, no me that feels that. I feel this. I don't want to feel this. That narrative doesn't help. So I breathe into it and I feel it as deeply as I can, become that grief. And it passes. There's something quite miraculous happened on New Year's Day after I hit that wall. For some reason I put on a piece of music, I don't know why. Maybe some part of me inside, deep, knew that it was the right time. And so to give some context, I lost 20 years of my life numbing myself to pain, trying to choose what I felt. And looking back on those years, it used to make me physically sick to see the cruelty I inflicted upon myself. And the only way I could get through it was to not feel, accept what I chose to feel by using a substance. And the only way you can survive that is to not feel. But some part of me wanted to feel. And I remember one night I was lying, just hallucinating voices calling my name, hoping that someone was going to rescue me. And I lay there in the darkness, staring at the shadows moving, listening to these voices calling my name. And for some reason I put on a piece of music. I found it on the internet. And I put on this piece of music, and it was Vaughan Williams, The Lark Ascending. And I couldn't listen to it because it was a beauty that I did not deserve. I tried a few times, but on New Year's Day I heard it for the first time. I heard it, and it is just impossibly beautiful, but I heard it. I heard it, I felt it. And in the same way that I became nothing in that wall of grief, I became nothing again. I could feel the sadness and joy in the music. And I could feel for the first time. So what is healing but learning how to feel? And if we cannot feel our own pain, we can't feel anything. We become partial in our existence, barely here, numb. And that's what trauma does to us. Like I said in the last video, in my own strange way, the passageway into presence, into the now, inhabiting each moment, being here, is through that cry of anguish, through the grief. You have to feel it. There's no shortcuts. And it's difficult. So you grit your teeth as long as you need to. Never give up. Never, ever give up. And when you're ready, you have to start feeling. You have to. Otherwise you're not going to make it. But it's difficult. There is just so much grief. And in the grief is a clarity. You can see it all. You can see it all. It's just endless sorrow. But it's not the same as being controlled by the pain and being confused and being in despair. It's not the same. Grieving is feeling it and letting it pass. So there is sorrow, and it is difficult. And the more you can feel, the more you are able to feel. And you do become this still point, the place within which all things happen. And that's healing. The old self, the old identity does not survive. You must become greater than the abuse. You must become greater. Greater than the abuser, greater than the abuse, greater than the pain, greater than your old self, but not, I am great. You don't claim that greatness. It's a greatness that exists outside yourself. It's the boundless self. It's the self within which everything happens. And that's the real self, not the story of me. The simple truth of being that simply is. And that's the true self. That self is forgiving, it's effortlessly loving, effortlessly compassionate. Some people spend decades of their life meditating, devoting their lives to a guru, living in a cloistered environment, shut off from the world so they can get closer to God, sitting on a meditation mat, going to ashrams. And those people are looking for the same thing that we have to find as a necessity. Because healing is a spiritual path of becoming greater, becoming nothing but everything. And that's the work. And so the pain is no less personal. It's more intimately felt. But that identity, the egoic self, the center of everything that happened, it's within me. It's within me. And everything else is within me. And that's the work. The seed of possibility of that transformation is within the wound. So you have to go into the wound to find that seed and help it grow. So, time for a poem. This is John Waggoner, Lost. Stand still. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Stand still. You are not lost. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger. You must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen. It answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying here. No two trees are the same to raven. No two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. Stand still. You are here, and here is where it happens. Thank you for watching. I hope I said something useful, and I'll see you soon.